Hi, I'm Sam Adams. I'm the arborist with the University of Tennessee. Today we're going to talk about pruning trees. Okay, so first off, what we're going to talk about is tools. The tools that you're going to need are going to be saws and pruners of different sorts. Hand saws come in different forms. This happens to be one that is called a tri-edge blade. It cuts on the pull stroke, so when you make your cut, you'll draw the blade towards you and it will cut. If you push it forward, it will not cut. This is a bypass pruner. It's designed to cut past a blade point, just like this. And they are designed to cut smaller branches. And the last thing we're going to talk about is a pole saw. Now, this is an extension saw. It's designed so that it starts out at about 4 feet long, but then I can make it longer by opening it up and extending it out. Again, this is a tri-edge blade where you would cut on the pull stroke when you go to make the cut. Today we're going to be talking about pruning young trees. And what do I mean by young trees? Well, young trees can be trees that have been newly planted, that have been in the landscape just a brief period of time, or they can be trees that have been in the landscape for a little while, but they have not reached their full mature height. This tree, as an example, is one that is not at its full height. This is a red maple. Its full height could be 65 to 70 feet tall. Clearly, it's only about 18 to 20 feet tall at this point. There's basically 3 or 4 different objectives that typically would fall into a pruning project. One, you would be pruning for vertical clearance over your lawn or the driveway or sidewalks. So that would be crown raising. You can also do crown reduction. Crown reduction would be such where you would be pruning for lateral clearance for the tree away from a building or away from some other structure. Young trees often, if they're growing well, shouldn't have many dead branches, but pruning out dead branches is enough. When you're pruning a small branch that you can handle yourself with one hand and then prune with the other hand, and you can do so that you won't rip anything off, this would be the way to do it. Prune with solid strokes, hold the branch so it doesn't fall away from you, and make the final cut. The final cut should be clean and circular with the least amount of surface area as possible. This is a thinning cut. I'm pruning out a branch that's crossing through the canopy. In this case, I'm going to cut part of the branch off before I make my final cut, so I can change my position and I don't have to worry about holding on to it. So now I've changed my position and pruning the branch off. The final step. So this is the trunk of the tree, and you can see this is the branch that we're going to be removing. This little ridge of bark that's crumpled up right here, that's called the branch bark ridge. And that's a permanent structure wherever there's a healthy branch growing. And then right here, which might be a little harder to see, but it's a swollen area at the base of the branch, that's called the branch bark collar. These are actually structures that belong to the trunk of the tree. Everything out from here belongs to the branch of the tree. So out about 1.5 to 2 feet away from the trunk of the tree, we're going to make an undercut with the saw. You can go just a short distance in, 1/3 or so is just fine. And then step out just a little ways past that cut on the top of the branch and make your second cut. And you can see the branch is now coming up to that cut and it'll break off. The reason I do that is so that the branch will not peel down towards the trunk of the tree. This is a pole pruner. It's very much like my hand pruner. It's a bypass pruner. It has a rope and a pulley system. You pull on the rope and the bypass pruner goes past the hook and prunes off the branch. We use this for pruning small branches up in the canopy of the tree. Often we'll do that to prune branches that we don't want to take the whole branch off, but we want to take off part.
Go ahead.
The goal of young tree pruning is the development of a healthy single stem trunk that is tapered and free of defects such as codominant stems, crossing branches, and pruning wounds that are flush to the trunk. It's important to keep in mind that young trees have not developed their mature branches, and any pruning we do is most likely on temporary branches that will eventually be completely pruned off as the tree grows taller. Codominant stems are 2 or more stems that are roughly equal in size and height. Codominant stems should be pruned out when trees are young to avoid major structural problems in the future. If the trunks are roughly equal in size, you will need to pick one or the other that you think is going to take the best mature position in the tree as it grows older. Developing and maintaining a tapered trunk is probably the most important job of the owner of a young tree, and is probably the easiest to accomplish. Maintaining a balanced crown ratio of 1/3 trunk and 2/3 crown is usually the best way to ensure a young tree maintains a gently tapered trunk that will be flexible and strong.